You know, when I first started out making videos and having this channel, my brother was kind enough to buy me a lot of equipment and kind of teaching me how to make videos or giving me pointers and stuff. And so he bought me a camera, which is the camera I still use right now, and he gave me the stand for it, the tripod, and he bought me my tablet, which I use to make the videos, edit them and put them together. And I mean, he's just really blessed me, and so these would not be happening without his help. I used to make videos on my laptop, and I would just use the camera that was on the laptop, which, you know, it would be okay, but it wasn't very good quality. And I'm not saying these are the best quality videos. I have no training whatsoever. And then he also taught me about lighting. So we owe it all to him. So thank you, Mike, if you're watching. Thank you. I appreciate the help. Alright, so I'm just having some toast and my coffee this morning. Good morning. And I wanted to share this really quickly. This is the acorn coaster that I made, I believe it was last fall. And I made two of them. This is the one that I gave to my dad. And he had it sitting in his kitchen. And I don't know if he ever used it. I actually made him some dishcloths as well, and he said that they were too pretty to use. And they were not pretty. I made just a simple round dishcloth. I made it in black and gray cotton yarn, you know, just, you know, for manly purposes. And then I made a square one. It was black, gray, and white. So they were not beautiful by any means, but my dad thought that they were, and he never used them. But one time I was there and I decided to do his dishes, and I used them. I was like, they are going to be used. So anyway, that's just a little funny tidbit. This is the second one I made. This one I made a little bit different, as you can see. And I used a tutorial from Beth on my sewing room. She's here on YouTube. This one I did not put a border around. This one I did. So I made it a little bit different. And this one is longer too. Maybe it's because of the border. But anyway, I love them both. She had a whole not a series, but she did several of these. She did a pumpkin, she did the acorns, she did the maple leaf, I thought there was one other one that she did, but I mean, they're just awesome. She's a great teacher, and I love making these. They're quilt blocks, but you can make them into coasters. You could make them into hot pads, you know, anything quick and simple, just for the fall, you know. I'll have to look on her, let me see if I can pull it up. She did sunflowers too. So she did the sunflower, she did the maple leaf, she did the acorns, there's the pumpkins. I think she did an apple too, but I'm just going to check really fast. Go check her out. If you do any sewing, if you do any quilting, even if you're a beginner, I mean, if you know how to use a sewing machine and you've done a little bit of sewing, I bet you could do it. Because I was still very new to sewing. And I just watched her videos and I was like, oh, that's how you do it? Oh. It's very different reading a pattern, and well, for me anyway, because I'm a visual learner. very different from reading a pattern and watching somebody do it. It's, yeah, it did. It just made everything click for me. Anyway, so those are those. So go check her out. The other thing I wanted to share, I got this book. Yay! My friend Rebecca ordered this book for me. She had this book, and it is A Year of Afghans, Book 5. This is by Leisure Arts. And let's see, this is an older book. I'm assuming it's from the 1990s, maybe 1980s. Oh, wait a minute. Copyright 2000. Okay, never mind. Pardon me. So this is a fairly newer book. Okay. Anyway, she started an Afghan, and it's one of these in here. And she shared it with me. It's called Brilliant Contrast. Let me see if I can do, no, this way. Yeah, Brilliant Contrast. So they made it all in black and then did the flowers in the various colors, scrap yarn. And she's like, why don't you try this with me? So I started making them, and she ordered me the book because I liked it so much. So I have a whole stack of them now that I have done, and I weaved in my ends. So I will just share them with you really quickly here. And I'm using Hobby Lobby I Love This Yarn, and the borders I'm doing in brown, various shades of brown, and oh, I just love them. I just love them. Beautiful, beautiful. And then we'll piece them together. This is the one I finished just yesterday. And this, I haven't weaved in my ends on this one yet. I did on these. Okay. I actually found this darker shade of brown, which I really like, and it's called Coffee. I found it yesterday. This is I Love This Yarn, and it's called Coffee, so I was like, it's kind of meant to be. Anyway, so this is the block I made yesterday. So now I have 7 blocks now, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7. So, but these are really, and I am using a 5.5 millimeter hook, and I'm using a worsted weight yarn. So they're working up pretty quickly, and because they're larger, I think you make 50 of them to make the Afghan. So it's going to be pretty big. I mean, you can make it any size you want. I mean, you could make, you know, a baby blanket. You could make a lap gan. You don't have to make it as big as they say. But this is really beautiful. Now, I will say that I wish they had charts for these. They do not have charts. It would have made it easier. However, I did rewrite the pattern in my own. I made notes for each round, so I can, as a quick reference guide, because it was kind of, well, you know how they write crochet patterns, and when you're sitting there trying to learn it, if it's a new thing, the way they word things sometimes is a little bit confusing. So I just wrote it in my own words in my little notebook here. And I even made a little chart for one of the rounds that was really confusing. Not confusing. It was it has lots of repeats. So, you know, I hated going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I was like, as long as I know one petal, then I can do it, no problem. So I made that chart for me on one particular round that was a little bit more challenging. Challenging, thank you, not confusing, just challenging. Anyway, but once you get the hang of it, it was not difficult at all. But it is beautiful. So it's called Brilliant Contrast, and it is on page 92 in this book. So if you're interested, go check that out. I believe she got it off Amazon. It's a beautiful book. I'm really surprised, though, that it's from the 2000s. I thought it was an older book than that. Alright, I did end up going through my stash and pulled out some more colors that kind of went with the color scheme, because as I said, I only have a certain amount of yarn in that kit. I may go and pick out some other colors. I'm not positive. I'm going to try to use what I have. I think my husband would really appreciate if I tried to use what I have instead of going back and buying more. So we'll see how that goes. Hi, Babu. Come here. Come here. Come here. Bella. Come. You want to say hi? Come here. You want to say hi? You want to say hi? This is Bella Boo. This is our puppy. She went and got her nails trimmed, and she got a little bath, and they trimmed around her eyes and her nose so she can see better, because her hair was getting all in her face, poor thing. And but we can see her much better, and she got a bath and a checkup, and she's all good. So, yeah. She was a little scared of the storm last night, weren't you? Lots of loud thunder. It was really bad. It was shaking the windows. It was really bad. But she's a good girl. We've had her almost 2 months now, and I think she's doing really good with us. She loves squeaky toys. She'll carry the toys around with her and squeak them in her mouth. She's so cute. Anyway, here you go. Good girl. Yeah, she's a good girl, and we like her. She does really good in the car. We take her for rides in the car if we have to just go run errands or something, you know. And she loves riding in the car. So that's funny, because I had a dog when I was growing up. We had a long-haired Chihuahua, and her name was Penny. And she would sometimes, I don't know if she got car sick or maybe she had motion sickness, but she did not always do very well in the car unless she was held. Or if we took her little pet carrier and put her in there, she would do okay. But loose in the car, she could not handle. She would throw up. So, but Bella Boo, she does great in the car. She actually loves it. So I'm thinking I might take her on more car rides. Just because she likes to be with us. She's kind of a lap dog. She likes to be around us all the time. Bella, did you get the fly? Bella, did you get the fly? Did you get the fly? Did you catch him? Yay, Bella! So for dinner tonight, I am making what's called foiled dinners, and I used a pound of ground beef and split it into 3. I made 3 hamburgers. Okay, then I took 3 potatoes and washed them and then sliced them and added them to these, and then I used 1 can of cut green beans and split it between the 3 foiled dinners. I'm going to add salt and pepper and some butter, and then I'm going to fold them up, put them in the oven at 425 and bake them for about 40 minutes. See if they're done. These are excellent, quick and easy, and we love them. Just pulled out of the oven. Looks pretty yummy. Let's open another one. Ooh, it's hot. Ooh. They smell really good. I remember going camping as a kid, and we would have these foil dinners. You can make them with any veggie you want. We always used hamburger, and I put it on the bottom. Potatoes, green beans, I've used carrots as well. You can cut the potatoes any way you want. Add salt and pepper or any seasoning you want, and then I add butter. Let's check this one. Yeah, looks really good. Great meal. Cheap, easy.